Spiritual sadhana is not an easy path, and yet it has its beauty, elegance, simplicity, and yet its power to change you. Being superficial, being dishonest, being fake, all these are not acceptable on the path of spirituality. Once you go within, it's just you and the Atma. There is no one else to see your treachery, fakery, artificialness. Everything gets exposed in front of Atma. Because your actions, as we know, the Kriya is guided by your thoughts, which is guided by your bhav. Bhav is something that is extremely close to the divinity. And when the bhav starts changing, you are not too far from Paramatma. And to change the bhav, all the efforts that you do on the path of samadhi have to be genuine and continuously open and ready to change itself. The openness to change. Acting like a sponge, ready to absorb any signal from the nature, from the people. Whatever you do, if you are in a continuous process of absorbing that signal, is going to change your inner infrastructure completely. And that's the achievement of dharma. And that is the dharma. Nothing else is. Going to temples, showing off and talking about spirituality, all those things have minimal value. They should be expression of your inner change rather than reverse. If you think actions are going to change your bhav, it's totally wrong. Whoever spends time inside will know that that is an impossible task. The change has to happen at the bhav level. Once your bhav changes, Paramatma loves you. He loves you the signal that you are ready to come to me. And the union happens. As everyone knows, I have been vegan for almost 10 years. I don't know how many cows benefited. It really doesn't matter. But I benefited the most by being vegan. Because any stance that you take for protection of others, you are absorbing those lives under your belt, under your umbrella. That's a profound change from, say, what I was before I became vegan. Being vegan is a philosophical decision that can shake your foundations. Yesterday, my tenants asked me, can I have a piece of a butter cookie? She knows I'm a vegan. And I obviously said, no, thank you. So she says, a small bite, what is it going to do to you? I said, I don't know. I don't know what's going to do to me. But I do know that that butter, whichever cow it came from, her life, I know, is definitely ruined because of my pleasure. When I think of that cow, my pleasure becomes non-existent, no question asked. Your inner psyche has to change profoundly. Then only you live your life fully. Everybody lives for themselves. But when you live for someone else or something else, that cause itself, it opens you to divinity. Yesterday, I was doing some gardening. I have a beautiful plant of Rajnigandha. It's beautiful tuberous flowers. Reminds me of fragrance from India. It had a lot of dead leaves. So I put the pots outside for the first time this season and had a lot of dry leaves around them. Last year, even at the end of the season, I had tried to remove them. I could not remove them. The leaves were still sticking to the soil and trying to extract the energy from the soil. Even though they were dried out, they were still collecting that last bit of nutrition from the soil and giving it to the roots, the tubers, which is going to make the new plant for next year. So even if I tried hard, I could not do it. So I left the whole pot sitting inside near the south-facing window. And when the spring came, the new shoots already had started. And the leaves, which were so stubborn and resistant to come out, now if I try to take them out, it was like a 2 seconds job. There was no resistance, as if a person is ready for the death. Anytime I'm easy to be plucked, just pluck me. There is no fear of death. That again starts my spiritual thinking, that we all should be like this at the end of the life, when there is no fear of death. You should be in, as scriptures say, kritakrityaga. Kritakritya means whatever you needed to do in this world, you have done it. I don't know how many people die with that kind of satisfaction. But the kritakritya state is a state of total 100% satisfaction. And that satisfaction is priceless on the path of samadhi. The satisfaction is the satisfaction of meeting the divinity. doing what you believed was right, helping others, but not as an act, but with a bhav inside. As long as you have a bhav, no one can challenge you, no one can doubt you, and your death will be like these leaves. They will just quit very easily, no resistance. So the whole sadhana path requires that you continuously stay on the path. Listening to the discourses is very helpful. Accumulating the spiritual visions, reading the scriptures is very important. Staying in touch with the people who have already advanced on this path and who have chosen this path. And the most important is your inner readiness to change, inner frankness, inner innocence, inner purity, and the truth. All this combined finishes the third leg of your path onto the sadhana. So pay attention to every single action, every single event, and after all that is done, you are not far from your soul. The soul is right there. It's been sitting there for millions of years, waiting for you to come back. And then you reach to your natural state, where there is nothing but bliss, nothing but satisfaction. So Bhav Shuddhi will let you take a jump into the divine waters of Manasarovar, as they have aptly described. Man is like Sarovar, is very deep. Going to Mansarovar is not going to do anything. The biggest Mansarovar is located within you, and you can take dips again and again and again forever, and the joy coming out of that is immense. And yet it's possible in one human life if you make enough efforts which are sincere, pure. Then there are treasures of treasures sitting within. So much for today. Have a good day.